Hey guys, welcome to my April 2021 plan with me. So I'm really excited about the way this spread turned out. I know I say that every month, but I'm really excited this month. I did none of the things I said I was going to do in March. I discovered that in order to do a live stream, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers. So that's going to have to hold off until I have at least 1,000 subscribers. So no live streams for now into the foreseeable future. And we're still working on a duet, so that's going to have to wait a little longer too. I can't think of anything else that you need to know before this video is started, but please enjoy.
Okay guys, so for this month, I am doing a space-ish theme. The colors I picked were purple and yellow and green, and also the reason that my brush pen is so translucent right now is that I used some watercolor in this spread, and I used water-soluble markers to make it because I don't like actual watercolors. They're scary. So I used this pen in that I was originally going to do like watercolored purple drips. Like I was going to put like a layer of purple watercolor, and then I was going to stick the piece of paper right side up, and it was going to all drip down and be super artistic. And then I discovered that wasn't really working. So I just drew in the drips myself. I used these drips because I wanted to have a purple background without having to color an entire page purple. And I thought the drips were the most effective and really cool looking way to do that. As you can kind of see here that I went in and lettered in April on a separate piece of paper and then glued that in over the purple part. If you don't want to do that, you could always just, write it on, or you could just leave a white spot. I was planning on just leaving a white spot, or I was planning on writing April in beforehand, but I don't have the greatest memory. So then when I was coloring in the purple part, I was like, oh, I've already colored the whole thing. Okay. This yellowish greenish paper that I'm using, I used to put on planets because galaxy theme. And that was sort of watercolored. Literally, I just took some washable Crayola markers and did a yellow and green checkerboard pattern, and then went back in with a paintbrush with water on it, and I just got it all wet and then let it dry. That's literally how I did that whole entire thing. It took me 10 minutes. I went and did a whole bunch of other attempts. I tried a splatter painting sort of thing where I would dip the marker in water so the ink would get all liquidy, and then I would just flick it. That worked pretty well actually, but I didn't end up liking the splattered look of it. I wanted more of a marbly look, which is why I landed on this one. I glued in all of the planets with my little tape runner thingy that I use in basically every video, because the one video that I haven't needed it in so far this year, I made a mistake and then ended up needing it anyways, which was just silly of me. Actually, maybe I didn't use it in March. I don't honestly remember. The point is, it was almost empty. I ended up having to refill it in the middle of this video, which was kind of annoying. But, I mean, at least it's going to good use. You can kind of see me going through and doing a bunch of different planets and things and just kind of filling in the space. I also went in with my silver Sharpie and did a bunch of stars in all of the drips to try to push the galaxy theme a little bit more. But the really annoying thing about this is for some reason my Sharpie just wasn't having it. I don't know if it didn't like the water ink or what, but it was not working that well. So I ended up going in with a silver faux calligraphy marker. In just a minute here, you will see that. I've had those calligraphy markers forever, and they layer really well, so I ended up using them actually quite a lot. I had a very difficult time trying to decide what kind of a spread I wanted to do for this month. I had already picked, I've had this spread picked since February. I've been okay, I want to do a galaxy-ish theme for April because it'll give me a good excuse to use springtime colors and it'll look really cool, which I agree. I think it turned out really cool. but I had a really hard time, like, picking the colors because I wanted to use purple, some combination of purple, blue, yellow, orange, and green. I was like, that is a lot of colors. That's the last 2 months combined. So it ended up taking quite a while for me to get around to this choice. But I decided no marbling in the background and marbling just on the planets and just yellow and green would turn out okay. And I really liked the way it looked. For my goals and events page, which you guys have seen me do enough times by now to have a good idea of the layout. Unless you're new to the channel, in which case, hey, how'd you find me? Okay, anyway, moving on. We're going to put like a little ring guy, and I ended up using that as sort of a border around the words goals and events. I like it. I liked the way it turned out. You'll see me kind of mess around throughout this video with ways of incorporating purple as a background without coloring everything purple. In this particular spread, I used like a scribble style. I did like scribble, scribble, scribble of purple, and then I wrote over it in silver, and I think that turned out really pretty. I'm honestly kind of in love with this spread, you guys. Like, I really liked, it might be my favorite one this year. Okay, I say that every video. I should stop being so good at this. I'm kidding. I really liked March. I really do like the way that this one turned out, though. And for once, my, like, pretty page, which is what I call my, like, monthly spread, is not actually my favorite part of it. My favorite part has yet to come up. Oh, another quick note for this is I've stopped putting a habit tracker. It was kind of adding to my anxiety levels, and we all know I don't really need that. So I was like, okay, I love my journal, and I think an anxiety tracker is more useful for me than a habit tracker, because I've kind of trained myself. I already do most of my habits anyways. And if I add any more habits so that my habit tracker will make more sense, then it just won't turn out well. Also, true to my assumptions last month, I did not end up using my anxiety tracker because it was ugly and I didn't like it and I didn't want to look at it, so I didn't use it. So this month I made my anxiety tracker as attractive as possible, and I think it's the prettiest spread here. I had to go back and count squares because I could not remember how big this was supposed to be. So then I went through and did it again, and then I had to mess with things. And anyway, several miscounting later, I had a layout for this kind of month at a glance spread that I am so in love with. I put in, that is a reused, it's a reused, like, it was the inside of one of the rings, and then I just kind of taped it back together. And you'll see me kind of go through here and put all the lines in. I couldn't remember the way that I did it, because March for me was just a crazy, crazy month. Anyway, I am super looking forward to the new month. I will be getting back from a vacation the day that, on April 1st, which is always a nice feeling. It's a little bit chaotic for me because I don't like traveling that much, but I'm still looking forward to it. And just, looking forward to the general break from things. We have a new quarter starting as well, which means that I didn't do homework over spring break, which is a first. So that was nice. But enough about me. I am so in love with this spread, you guys. Like, literally, I just think it turned out so beautiful. I think the color scheme is really cool and really versatile. Like, I feel like I could have gone a lot of directions with this color scheme, which is different from my usual ones because, well, that's not true. I had a bunch of different options for March. If there's, like, a theme that you would like to see at some point, you should comment it because I'm running out of ideas. I have a general color idea for May, but I don't have a theme yet. Also, this is my favorite spread in my journal this month. Coincidentally, it also took me the longest, or not so coincidentally. Honestly, it was probably not a coincidence, but that's also a coffee lid if you were curious as to what I used for my circle stencil. I basically went in and I did a bunch of little squigglies on here to try to make it look like a planet. I also did the exact opposite thing that I did with my anxiety tracker last month. If you remember last month, I was like, oh, 31 is a lot of slots. And so then I made them all really small and then they looked ugly. This month I was like, I, for some reason, only counted 15. I think it translated from last month when I had 15 on each side. And so I was like, oh, I need 15 total. And then I made 15 total. And then I was like, okay, this is not looking good. I need to add more. So I started out in pencil, which I'm so grateful for because anytime I just go straight to pen, it turns out badly. And then I kind of went over and outlined things in pen. I'm sure rewatching it that I'm going to see a bunch of things that I messed up. But I'm trying not to look for those because I had so much fun with this spread. And I think it's one of my favorites in the way that it turned out. You can see me, I counted them like 8 times because I was trying to figure out if I had enough. And I didn't, but then I did, but then I had too many. I actually ended up having to silver out one of the stars because I added too many stars and then I pencil outlined them before I counted. And guys, just be a better counter than I am, okay? Because the counting situation with this tracker was one of the most frustrating things in my life. If you wanted to do a habit tracker for a spread like this, you could kind of go in and do a bunch of mini planets. I think that would be really cute. I was kind of tempted to do a habit tracker just because I had so many ideas for it. But my habit tracker wasn't really doing anything for me except like stressing me out. And I was like, that is not worth it. You can also see I went back and counted these. I counted them in pencil. And I thought I had the right number. And then I counted them in pen. And I didn't have the right number. And I don't know how that happened. But just learn to count, I guess, is the lesson of the day. So I'm really... guys, I'm really in love with this spread and the way it turned out. I just think the big planet looks so cool. And it was super easy. My artistic skills are like zilch. Like... I probably shouldn't be saying that as someone who runs a sort of art channel. I mean, so I think what happened is that I counted to 31 instead of 30. My art skills are not that great, but literally all I had to do was stencil out a circle and then draw some squiggles in it. Like, there was no artisticness put into this spread. It was literally just me trying to figure out where I wanted squiggles. It was really fun, though. I put in like a nice little key for myself, using just straight up yellow, green, and purple, instead of doing like the ombre thing that I did last month because I couldn't tell which pens aligned with which markers. They're just going to take me forever. And here is my constant spread, the one that literally has not changed since I started doing this. It's my expense tracker. I tried to use only a little bit of tape. It didn't work out. I ended up having to retape it later, which was annoying. Yeah, I don't know how much I can really say about this spread, guys. You've seen me make it 4 times now. It's not a very complicated spread. I just like it because I like the feeling of having a clue as to how much money I have. So I just kind of filled it in. And then I put a little doodle at the bottom. I don't feel like this turned out as well as some of my other doodles, but that's okay. It still looks fine and all of that. Okay, guys, my mind dump this month was just really chaotic. By the way, I know it's still on my expense tracker. I just can't say that much more about what I'm doing right now because you've already seen me do it. My mind dump this month was kind of a disaster. I tried to like spell out the words mind dump in like a constellation style, and I don't think you can even read it, to be honest. I can read it in person, but I don't think the camera could see it that well. But that's okay. My mind dump has never really been about being pretty. It's just about having a list area to write random things down, which is pretty important. Also, I figured out how to put the ring on the planet in a way that doesn't look so weird. This is my mind dump, by the way. I don't think it turned out that great. I'm I'm sorry that the lighting is weird. The sun was like only half coming through the window, and so it made a really weird diagonal line across my journal, which I wasn't that much of a fan of, but oh well. Oh good, you can kind of see it. Okay. So I literally put polka dots in the shape of the words mind dump. You can't see dump at all. Wow, okay, guys, that was just a mess. I'm sorry. So this is my last spread for this month. This is my week 1 spread. And I kind of wanted to mess with my weekly because last month I used my weekly marginally, but I felt like I just wasn't that motivated to put stuff in it. And so I was like, okay, I'm changing it up a little bit. So here is my new plan. I put the days of the week in the middle. Also, yes, I forgot that there are only 4 days in the first week of April, and I laid it out wrong, but that's okay. I don't care that much. It annoyed me, but I don't care that much. So I put this all out. I outlined it in black pen, and I might change the stuff that goes along the sidebars. I'll definitely change the stuff that goes along the sidebars. But this week, I just kind of put what was on the thing I was using as kind of an idea generator. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what kind of a weekly spread I wanted because I've tried a lot of different kinds. And most of them are like, here, leave space in the middle for a doodle. And I'm like, I don't really draw that well. I don't really want to draw on my journal. I want it to stay pretty and simplistic. So anyway, you can see I kind of laid that out like that. I used some of my shiny watercolor paper. By the way, guys, like that was just so much fun. But if you don't want to go back and do all the watercolor stuff, but you want to use a marble design, you can literally Google search yellow green marble and then print it out. Like, it's that easy. I did have a lot of fun making that, though. I will say that. Also, that was just me trying to figure out what day April started on. Yeah, I'm a little zoned out. Spring break kind of does that to me. I've been a little distractible, but that's okay. Yeah, I had those empty boxes at the bottom. In a normal week, those would be used for, days of the week. And I'd probably lay this out. I'll probably lay this out differently. If I come up with one that I really like, I'll be sure to post it on Pinterest. Not YouTube because, no offense, but I don't think that all of the hassle of editing and voiceovering videos is really worth, like, a 5-minute YouTube video. Like, that doesn't sound fun to me. I like making these big monthly ones because they're just a lot of fun, but the little ones seems like a lot of work for a small product, and I don't think I have the emotional energy for that. I put in last week, I wanted to do a line through it like that, and I shouldn't have put the Sharpie on first because Sharpie doesn't layer well. I will sing the praises of my metallic Sharpies all day long, but they don't layer well, so just keep that in mind if you're planning on using them for something. I put in little boxes. You can't really read it because for some reason my metallic markers don't like my camera. But the one on the left says last week and the one on the right says next week. And this is a little calendar, like just a little baby calendar for me to be able to look at, to kind of see what it looks like without having to flip all the way back. And I did a little sleep chart. I also did just another little doodle spot that I kind of filled with little planets and stars and things like I've been doing just to kind of try to keep the theme consistent. I did a very bad job of cutting out a planet, so then I made myself go back and redo it. I had to figure out what the sticky spot was. That was me tapping the spot. I just glued. I couldn't find it. This part of the spread was a whole adventure, guys, because I was literally making it up as I went. I was like, this might work. I wrote in sleep in yellow, and then I realized I couldn't read it, and I was like, oh, okay, that won't work. And then I realized, yeah, okay, guys, this weekly spread was kind of a mess, to be completely honest, but I like the idea of it. I think I'm going to keep messing around with, yeah, I put sleep right there, guys. Don't mind me. I had to flip all the way to the back of my thing to get a different, and then, yeah, I cut out a new piece of paper to cover up my mistakes. Making this weekly spread was hard for me for some reason. My brain did not like the design of it. But I plan on kind of editing it and revising it a little bit and just kind of seeing if I can make it into something that I would like to use on the regular, because I think it's a really cool idea. I just don't think I handled it very well.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.